It's the 2K Sports pregame show, presented by Kia.
Hello, basketball fans. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports, along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. I'm Ernie Johnson. Tonight, it'll be the Detroit Pistons going up against the Celtics out in Boston. Looking at Boston, only one win in their last 6 games. They know they can play much better, looking to be more competitive tonight. And here in the early going, the pecking order of the league still being decided. Every team has the playoffs as their goal. Shaq, does it feel more like a level playing field this early on?
Well, any team can win on a given night, especially when they have something bigger to play for. Right now, everybody still has a chance to make the playoffs, Ernie, so I can't really answer that question.
Yeah, right now, Ernie.
Thanks for trying.
Yeah, to me, it's paper-mache teams because they're good teams on paper. We haven't seen them really develop. We haven't seen them, have a continuity or conclusion together. That's why you play the games, Ernie. That's why you play the games. Bring your game, not your name.
I was wondering why they played the games. Let's go to Kevin Harlan. Maybe he knows.
It's the home of the Celtics here in Boston as 2K Sports brings you today's action live. We're happy to have you with us for 2K Sports midweek presentation of NBA basketball. Welcome everyone to the broadcast table. Chris Webber to my right, Greg Anthony to my left. I'm Kevin Harlan and David Aldridge on our sideline. We take a look at the Pistons. Well, guys, at this point, while still many things can change, their record is not on par with their performance last year. Maybe a cause for concern, but something they are well aware of.
And checking out Detroit, there were fears they'd be one of the NBA's doormats this season. Those fears have turned out to be well-founded.
Well, it's not really shocking, is it, considering the makeup of their roster. They need a ton of help in many areas if they want to get better.
And David Aldridge is standing by for our pregame report. David, good evening.
Thanks, Kevin. Since taking over, Pistons coach and team president Stan Van Gundy has quickly reshaped the roster. The wins have followed. He said, "We've come a long way. Now we've got a group of guys who fit together on the floor and are all high-character individuals. There's a much better feel." Kevin?
It's not just about raw talent, but how the pieces fit, DA. Thanks. And the athleticism for both teams, Chris. Certainly there to see.
Oh, you're so right. Very explosive. You love to see the game play out above the rim. I mean, some top 10 plays in the making of it.
So fun. So Detroit will get the first possession. And now the opening lineup for Detroit. Jackson and KCP are in the backcourt together. Andre Drummond is out there with Tobias Harris. And it's Morris in at the 3 spot. Now here's Smart. After the miss from Andre Drummond. Here's Johnson. Rejected by Harris. Fast break Detroit. Jackson's got the ball. And it's Drummond with the jam.
Oh, and when there's an open man, Jackson finds him, making it look very easy.
Smart with the ball. Pass to Green. Johnson outside. Out to the right wing. Just 5 on the clock. Here's Smart. 1 up, 1 down. 2 points with his first shot this game. About 1 minute into the first quarter. Outside Jackson. Drummond the screen. In the corner, it's Harris. Takes the 3. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson.
And the way Harris sticks these catch-and-shoot jumpers is just devastating to the defense. I mean, what can they do against that?
Brown outside. Dishes it to Johnson. To the inside. Green. In close. He hits it.
Nice feed in close, right to where his teammate needed it.
For Detroit, they've gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. Morris a screen. Caldwell Pope dishes to Morris. Nice ball movement by Detroit. 6 on the shot clock. And it's Drummond missing.
He's usually very dependable from that range, but the D got themselves in that play and got him off kilter.
Brown kicks to Jerebko. Here's Smart. And he makes good on the layup.
And I love Smart pressing his advantage on the interior.
On defense, Boston. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of Miami.
And you don't have to go too deep into the box score to figure out why they lost that one. They just had an inability on that day to make shots.
And that happens. You can run the sets you normally do, but the ball just won't fall through the net. On to the next.
Oh, that is just weak defense there. I'm pretty sure that was not the plan to give him those kind of baskets at the hoop.
That defense was awful. That was just pathetic. He should not be that wide open right near the bucket.
Now here's Smart. 17 points for him last game against Miami.
And he also was a Badger on the defensive end, finishing with 3 steals on the night.
The Pistons have gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. Outside Jackson. Passes it to Drummond. Out to Harris. Fires the 3. He goes up again, and the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a 3-point play.
I just love the hard work on the glass from Drummond. One of the best rebounders in this game. One thing that Drummond might not get enough credit for is his play on the defensive end. He's very strong, not only at blocking shots, but keeping players from getting comfortable, keeping them out of their comfort zone. It's hard to set up in the post when you got a big man like that.
Now here's Smart. He's playing a pretty big role for him at the offensive end, averaging about 12.5 points a game. Outside Jackson. He kicks it to Caldwell Pope. They set the pick. Hits the front of the rim and out.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
And the foul on Marcus Smart. That's his first foul. And we're just over 3.5 minutes into the first quarter. Jackson passes to Harris. Down low. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. And Caldwell Pope is mostly known for his defense, but you know, Chris, he can light it up on offense if you give him a chance.
And that's the big thing, Kev, with KCP and his offensive game is that he is just so slippery. He can slip through hedges on screens to get to the basket. Any seam you give him, he'll find space and pull up for a shot or take it all the way.
First free throw is good.
And Caldwell Pope is a guy you cannot leave open at any time. He's just a very good shooter from any spot on the floor.
And Caldwell Pope drops them both.
Now look, with KCP, you have to be excited about what he can do in the future. Came into the league very raw, but he has put in a lot of work. Some big steps from him the last few seasons to take his game to the next level.
Now here's Green. 17 points for him last game against the Heat in Miami. Brown, good.
And Brown is just utilizing his athleticism yet again. I mean, this time from the interior, though, but just sinking these close-range shots.
They set the screen. Drummond, that one's not going to go. Excellent D there by Johnson. And with Caldwell Pope, the numbers don't lie with his improvements. Slowly, Chris, upping how efficient he is on offense, and you know his defense will always be there.
If this kid can develop a consistent three-pointer, it'll make him a much bigger factor on the offensive end. The work ethic is there. He displayed that so far. He has improved how he moves without the ball as well.
Smart misses. Pistons leading by 3. Harris kicks to Jackson. Harris against Green. And here's Morris for 3. Again, the miss by the Pistons. Boston's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Oh, the mid-range game, a lost art. Nice bucket by Smart.
Detroit's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Drummond with a screen on Brown. Here's Jackson. No good from outside. And now with the fast break, Smart with the ball. Here's Green. Good, and Smart gets the assist. Green's got his second basket of the night.
And I love the fact that he didn't have to slow down or adjust there. The pass was just timed perfectly.
Outside for Caldwell Pope. Not enough on that one as it misses.
He had all the room in the world to get that up, but somehow blew it by rushing it just a tad.
Here's Jurecko, and he finishes it off with a one-handed jam.
Oh, nice look there from Smart, finding the open man.
There's a good screen. Now here's Jackson. A 26-point game for him in the win against the Hornets in Charlotte.
And it just wasn't about the offense. I mean, he was racking up the steals and taking advantage of some sloppy play by the opponent.
Oh, those tremendous reflexes. It just makes him extremely dangerous on the offensive glass.
And now the first timeout called here for Boston. And you'll ask defenders or would-be defenders of Drummond, he can just punish you physically.
If he drops a shoulder into you, it's like getting hit by a runaway freight train. Because of how strong he is under the rim, he can just shrug off defenders who don't have a strong base. If he hits it on the low block, it's a dunk pretty much every time.
For Boston, they've gone 7 of 11 from the field to begin the game. Johnson sets the screen for Smart. Passes it to Johnson. It's Brown on the wing. Rebounded by the Pistons. Drummond's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Caldwell Pope with a wide open look. Another miss by Caldwell Pope.
Maybe he should look to pass the ball right now and get his teammates involved, because right now, his shot's not falling. He's ice cold.
And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a 3-point play. So Green will go to the free throw line. Marcus Morris picks one up there. Well, with a look at today's rosters, you'll see a veteran or two acting as a mentor on a team for young players. Chris, all teams want them. They need them for that balance. You've been on both ends of that relationship. Just how important is that for a young player?
It is very important. You know, when you think about the word fear, fear mostly is what you anticipate about the unknown. And for a lot of young players, you know, they just don't know what to expect. They just don't know what habits to have. They just have never been in a situation before. And they're going to figure it out, regardless if anyone helps them or not. But just think about how it just helps the learning curve and how it speeds up the pace when you have someone that can tell you from their perspective how to approach games or how to prepare for games, how to recover, how to treat your body, how to play this guy. I know coach said this, but you might want to try this if that doesn't work. You know, and I think that's probably one of the most underrated and depleted spaces on the team are guys that can be that third coach on the team, but with the jersey on. And so I think it's very important to have guys in those mentor-type positions, just because they've had to go through what these players have gone through. Not just coach, but they've had to go through it and can tell it from a player's perspective.
Great points. That's good from Rozier. Chris, throughout your career, you spent a lot of time down low on the blocks, and we're seeing less of that now, those post-ups that were such a primary option when you played in teams' offenses. Does that concern you? Is that good or bad?
It's concerning from this point. Kids aren't being properly coached in the middle school and the high school level. Kids don't know how to play on the post. When you look back through the history of this game, whether it's been guards or big fellas, the post is not about how tall you are. The post is about how the closer you are to the basket, you usually have an advantage. And if you have game, then that pump fake game down there work can get you to the foul line. And if you are a good passer, then it draws the double team. It changes the angle that the defense has to look inside and play. It helps slow the pace down sometimes in the playoffs when the game gets tough and a little bit more physical. And we can say that everybody's changed their game, but only one team wins a year. So, you know, I don't know if the trend is necessarily not there with big guys not in the post when I look at guys like Drummond, Blake Griffin, Dwight Howard, Horford, Jordan, Zebo, the Gasol brothers. It's still a lot of post players out there, so I don't subscribe to that opinion that it's less on the post. I just subscribe to the opinion that maybe coaches don't want to coach that way because guys have post games. We just have to see if the game will change. But small ball right now is what everybody loves.
Great perspective.
Boy, did he go hard to the boards, but clearly went over the back in doing it.
Aaron Baines, he's checked in for the Pistons. To the paint, here's Benajay. It's good, the assist that time from Smith.
And they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
Here's Rozier. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game.
He was a little overzealous there, trying to carve his way through the defense, and they were having none of it.
Here's Baines. They trail by 1. That one falls.
Yeah, not a perfectly set screen there, but got him just enough room to get that shot off.
Boston's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. One area the Pistons will be working on this season, Chris, is their play off the bench.
And the Pistons bench has improved over the course of last season, but it was still an Achilles heel for them at times. They just didn't have the scoring punch off of the bench. And a lot of that was related to not having a playmaker leading the way for the second unit.
Now here's Johnson. He had 13 points in the win against the Hornets in Charlotte. Here's Smith. The shot that time, not on target. And it's Boston the other way. Their last meeting was in Detroit, where they were unable to fight off the Pistons.
And on an ordinary night, guys, I think they would have come out on top. That's just how well they played, but they happened to catch an opposing team at the very top of their game.
Yeah, it was a shame anyone had to lose. Home court advantage may very well have been the difference.
Now here's Green. 6 points for him. Here's Mickey. Powered down with both hands. We've seen the lead change hands quite a bit in this one.
And guys, I think each team knows they can win this game. Just a matter who can catch that momentum.
Here's Smith. Feeds to Lure. Yes, and it's Smith with the assist that time. And the Pistons lead by 1.
Yeah, that was the third straight high percentage look the defense has allowed. The defenders have got to start putting bodies on bodies.
And Boston has possession. Olynyk has the open look. Green, and it's blocked. And that's out of bounds. Boston will retain possession. Zeller is checked in for Boston. And so it's Boston with it. They trail by 1. And the basket by Rozier.
Both teams trading punches back and forth. This thing's like a heavyweight fight.
And a good indication of that, this will be an absolute battle for the entirety of this game.
Now here is Smith. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Here's Benajay. Clock at 6. Nice ball movement by Detroit. Baseline Jay on the way. Offensive rebound. Smith outside. Here's Baines. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
And with the offense getting right to the rim, at least they saved the layup.
The Pistons shooting their 4th and 5th shots at the foul line in the game. And the first one at the line is good.
And the one thing I like with the Celtics, you see the chemistry and the continuity, not just on the court, but on every level. Coaching, front office, ownership, they're all on the same page.
Good on both. And for the Celtics as an organization, When you have that trust and that common understanding, Chris, that makes a huge difference.
Well, you have to give the leadership some credit because part of being a great organization is hiring great people and letting them do their job. Ownership and management are involved, but not overbearing. And forward-thinking, this is a franchise that is exploring every avenue to find an edge.
So it's Detroit now after the basket by Boston. And Lure gets it to go. Well, guys, this first half has been about as tightly contested as you could hope for.
There have been a lot of lead changes. My goodness.
Here's Rozier. Young outside. Pass to Rozier. Detroit with the rebound. They defeated Charlotte in their last game.
And you know what? Exactly what had to be done in terms of winning on the road. Never allowed any momentum to build up against them. Kept the crowd out of the game. And for every punch they took, they had a counter.
I was amazed at their execution. No matter how loud the arena got, they remained calm and in control.
At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. Pistons ahead, leading by a point. And we'll be back shortly for the start of the second quarter. And Celtics head coach Brad Stevens lured away from a very successful tenure with the Butler Bulldogs. He talked about the challenge of making that decision.
The only hard part of that decision is leaving a place that you really loved for 13 years. I couldn't have left without knowing that it was a place that we were going to stay together and really commit to a process together. And I was sold on that, and I continue to be sold on it.
I wonder if Coach Brad Stevens feels like he's recruiting another college class with all those draft picks locked in his stockpile.
I know he's feeling real good about his decision. He's one of the bright coaching stars in our league.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from Detroit?
You can tell the point of emphasis has been to get to the offensive glass.
Yeah, whether it's blocking out in the paint or knifing in from the perimeter, they're focused on creating second chance opportunities.
Here are the five Detroit has to start the second quarter. Jackson and KCP are in the backcourt together. Marcus Morris is out there with Tobias Harris, and it's Baines in at the pivot spot manning the middle.
Now, we all know Reggie Jackson is as quick as most guards in the league, but that isn't why he's able to get anywhere on the court. He does a great job of keeping defenders guessing with his change of speed. It looks like he's moving in slow motion at times because his movement is so fluid.
And Chris, with Reggie Jackson, he is so talented with the changing of speeds on the move.
And you can't underplay how hard it is to guard a guy who is always starting and stopping. It's a constant guessing game if you're a defender, and eventually you'll anticipate wrong. Reggie finishes so well in so many places. It's a big part of why he's a great scorer.
He gets a chance now to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, guys, one of the players Boston really wanted when they traded Rajon Rondo to Dallas a couple of years ago was Jay Crowder. And since Crowder arrived in Boston, he's been a culture setter. Arriving in the midst of a losing streak, he said, "I lost my mind. I pulled Coach Stevens to the side and asked him, what are we trying to do here?" And Crowder wasn't done. He went to the front office and to teammates. He said, "I play to win." Kevin, he'll accept nothing less.
Great stuff, D.A. Thank you. Smart dishes to Zeller. Shoots from 12. And it falls over the rim and in. Uredko's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Look, that's playing inside out, simply taking what the defense gives him.
And here's Jackson. He's been a reliable scorer for him as he's averaging up over 13 points a game.
It's not winning basketball when you're attempting shots like that.
Oh, no, you're right. It's selfish on his part to attempt that. Should have passed it back out and tried to get a better look.
And Zeller kicks to Brown. Here's Uredko. His three-pointers off the mark. Pistons leading by 4. Morris passes to Jackson. Pistons passing it around. And the basket by Harris.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Celtics on offense. Brown outside. Picked by Zeller. Brown dishes to Zeller. Unloads from 13. Second shot opportunity. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
You know, I love how he absorbs the foul and still had a chance to knock that one down.
A lot of post players, Chris, can rely on their strength to score, but others just take you apart with their moves. Who do you feel are some of the smoothest post scorers in the game right now?
Oh, wow. Some of the smoothest post scorers. I still think you got to go to Boogie Cousins in Sacramento. His game and his footwork is just impeccable. Also, how about that jump hook of Pau Gasol? Still so effective even this many years later. And then don't forget about LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, his jump shot allows for him to use his quickness because guys have to get up on him, and he just plays defenses at his mercy.
Good point. Jordan Mickey's checked in for Boston. And Detroit with a change here, too. Drummond's checked in. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. Pistons leading by 4. Jackson kicks to Caldwell Pope. Harris a screen on Brown. Here's Caldwell Pope. Zeller grabs the board.
Oh, he couldn't have asked for a better look there. He just didn't get it to go.
Smart wide open. He fires. From outside off the mark. The Pistons have gone 3 of their first 5 shots to drop here in the second quarter. Stolen by Smart. Brown outside. And the dunk by Brown.
That's just elite defense by Smart, seizing the opportunity and taking it the other way.
And, well, Detroit shooting a mediocre 41% in this one. Top of the key, Harris. Plenty of space. Rebounded by Urebko. Urebko's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Smart with the ball. Jackson on him. Smart passes to Mickey. Can't tie it up as that one misses. And there's the foul. It's on Jaylen Brown. That's foul number 2 for him.
And that's foul number 2. And maybe you don't sit him at this point, but you really have to be careful to not pick up another before half.
Johnson, he's checked in for Zeller. Here's Morris. A rebound by the Celtics.
Great looking defense, really, just to disrupt the rhythm on that shot.
They made that possession super uncomfortable, and as a result, they got the stop they needed.
Smart misses.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
And here we go with the breakdown tonight of the front court and back court rebounding numbers for the Celtics.
And their bigs are getting the vast majority of those caroms, handling their business on the inside and freeing up the guards to get up the court and look for early offense.
And almost 4 minutes gone here in the second quarter of play. Ball's knocked loose. Boston's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Stolen by Caldwell Pope. Here's Jackson. The call will go against Urebko. That is his first foul of the game. Stolen by Smart.
Wow, he kept his hands moving to catch his man's attention just as he was going up for that shot. Great defense.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Well, guys, if you're the other team, you now have to find a way to answer back. Can't afford to give up too much momentum.
Caldwell Pope. This is to Drummond. Here's Jackson. Shot to end this cold run. Johnson with the block.
Oh, the rim protection from Johnson. One more thing that makes him special.
Down kicks to Urebko. Smart passes to Johnson. Back to Smart. He dishes it to Johnson. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
And when you take a look at Amir Johnson, he was signed as a free agent by the Celtics. Now, he had been a fan favorite in Toronto, much beloved in the locker room. The persistent ankle injuries gave the Raptors front office some concern.
And with Amir Johnson, no disputing he's been a quality utility with a great upside. But Chris, do you think the doubts about his consistency were founded?
But you know what? He only missed 3 games last season, so I don't know if I'd agree with all the rumors. By all accounts, a class act and a great teammate. The Celtics were happy to have him, and I would think looking to resign him after this season.
Now, Smart, 6 points for him. They get a hand on it. Harris inside, working on Mickey. They get it back, and the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. The Pistons have hit most of their free throws tonight, 5 of 6.
And the season numbers for them at the line thus far are really poor. Something I'm sure they are making a point of emphasis.
The free throw drops for Jackson.
Now, he might not be known as Mr. October, but Reggie Jackson does share something else in common with his namesake. They both are clutch. Jackson has hit big shot after big shot in his career. He relishes the chance to make that deciding play. Great presence there. You think that shot's going up, but gets dished to the open man.
There's a screen on the wing. Johnson to the inside. Jerebko, and he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
Well, you know what? I like Johnson's unselfishness, ready and willing to move it to the open man.
And Chris, I think you're right on the money when you say Reggie Jackson is looking to take that big shot.
And that's the exact mentality you want from a player who's going to take shots in the clutch. Make or miss, they have confidence. They want to be in that moment. They embrace it. He knocks it down.
That's good by Mickey.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
And now the first timeout called here for Detroit.
And they've gotten good looks, you know, so that's one reason they're frustrated. Maybe he can come up with something to get them an easy one, maybe get to the line.
Well, I just think they're pressing too much, not really in the rhythm. Have to let the game come to you.
And as we get into the meat of the season, that rookie wall starts to loom. Chris, did you feel that rookie wall hit you your first season in the NBA?
No, I didn't. I actually felt the rookie wall fall on top of me, Kevin. I mean, it was so long of a grinding season. College was only about 30 games. The NBA, oh, man, 82 games, and you're flying, and you're practicing. It's more than anything you've ever done, plus the age difference and the maturity physically between you and your peers. And so it's definitely something that you have to get used to, and hopefully you have great teammates and some great trainers that can get you through that rough period.
Great points. Nice ball movement by Detroit. Drummond the screen. Caldwell Pope wishes to Drummond. Johnson with the block, and they'll keep possession. Boston trailing. Here's Rozier. Now the feed to Brown. To the inside. Trying to break that ice-cold streak. And the slam dunk by Johnson.
Well, that's all because of the persistence from Johnson, battling for the second chance bucket.
Johnson's gotten 2 of his 3 shots to go tonight. Smith outside. Drummond the screen. Inside, and taken away by Johnson. And up the court come the Celtics on the break. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Caldwell Pope.
And a moment now to check out some of the numbers for Smart. Getting around 12 points a game, 8 assists, and 3 rebounds. And some pretty good numbers, guys. He's certainly making a contribution.
Brown with a screen on Caldwell Pope. And they take the lead. And it's a 3-point Celtic lead.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless. Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Strong fundamentals right there. He didn't consider the height disadvantage too long. Instead, he just went right at him and sunk it in his grill, in the face.
Smart kicks to Johnson. To the right side. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Smart misses. It's a close game here in Boston. There's the triple. That's good from Caldwell Pope on the assist by Smith. Smith's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. The Celtics have gone 8 of 15 since we began the second quarter. Excellent shooting. And the pass to Johnson. Kicks it to Brown. Johnson the screen. The dish to Smart. Throws it up high. And he lays in the alley-oop. Johnson's got it all tied up now for Boston.
The assist by Smart, and I think his playmaking is coming along.
And Detroit has possession. Smith outside. To the paint. It's tipped. Here's Rozier, covered by Smith. Brown, good. Brown's got 4 this quarter.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And pushing it up, here's Boston.
Well, that's why they're in front. Aggressive play at both ends. Nicely done.
Smith with it. He's averaging a bit over 5 points a game. He feeds it to Lure. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
And a quick check of the stats for Drummond. His last 10 games have been exceptional. 1st in rebounding, 7th in scoring, and he's also ranked in the top 10 in blocks per game. No trespassing when he's in the lane.
First one drops.
Hey, guys, this is the way to stay in the game. They're doing a masterful job from the line. Perfect this quarter.
Some changes for Boston. Olenek is checked in for Jordan Mickey. Green comes in for Brown. Young is subbed in for Smart. And Lure drops them both.
Now, in 2013, the Celtics began their rebuild in earnest. Right away, they made some great moves hiring Brad Stevens from the college ranks to take over as head coach. And also, a terrific trade with Brooklyn, getting 3 first-round picks and the right to swap picks in exchange for Garnett and Paul Pierce.
Second chance shot. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
And we're looking at the last ever Prep to Pros draftee. I mean, Amir Johnson taken 56 overall by Detroit in 2005. He's been in the league over a decade now.
He made the only free throw attempt he had earlier in the game.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
That one is off. And you talk about that trade with the Nets. Looking back, what a trade for the Celtics.
Wow, I forgot about that. Yeah, Brooklyn's run with Pierce and KG was short-lived, and as their fortunes have waned, it's been one heck of a windfall for these guys in green. So many young assets. You knew they had to make some moves just to fit their roster limitations.
He hits the second from the line.
Well, after getting to the stripe in the first quarter, he's definitely been more assertive driving inside.
Smith the pass to Baines. It's good. The assist that time from Smith. Smith's got 5 assists in the game. Boston's gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. We've got 1:55 left in the first half of the game. Johnson left side. Clock at 6. Baines with the block.
Oh, no. He's the last guy you want to put on the line. You can just about book the points every time he steps up there.
For Detroit, they have shot the ball well from the free throw line, 8 of 9. good on the free throw. The Pistons, Chris, a team that continues to develop their outside game.
Well, it makes sense when you look at the Pistons roster. They've made sure to add more and more shooters at every position they can. With the team being built around Drummond, you want to open up space for him to go to work in the paint, draw those double teams, kick it out, and let the shooters do their job.
And no good on the second free throw, so he goes 0 for 2 there. The Celtics with the lead. Here's Green. Up and in on the layup. Green's got 8 points.
No, well, you just got to keep feeding him the ball. Everything he shoots has been gold so far.
Smith dishes to Baines. To the middle. A nice shot by Benajay.
Give credit where credit is due right there. A terrific assist.
The Celtics shooting a sweet 57% clip in quarter number 2. On the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, guys, it's always a transition and a difficult one for college coaches to come to the pros, but Celtics coach Brad Stevens made one of the smoothest we've seen after leading Butler to back-to-back national championship games. You hear that buzz from players to opposing coaches. Greg Popovich said, "I really respect what he does. His team executes. I'll still watch his Butler tape. Trying to learn some stuff, to be honest with you. High praise indeed, fellas."
And Popovich, really the godfather of the active coaches right now, D.A. His voice carries certainly a lot of weight in this league. Thank you. That free throw, no good.
Now, when you watch this Detroit team play, you can't help but think about perhaps one of the most legendary teams ever to play in the NBA, the Bad Boys Pistons. The amazing team that would deliver back-to-back titles to my city of Detroit. One of the toughest teams ever in any sport.
And those back-to-back titles for the Bad Boys coming in 89 and 90. One of the few teams, Chris, to get the better of Jordan for a brief stretch of time.
Well, I tell you what, I grew up on this team. My home, Detroit. I love this team, the Pistons, the Bad Boys. This was a team full of characters, and they were all tough as nails. Zeke was the leader, but 1 through 5, and on the bench, everyone would put an elbow in your chest to discourage your shot.
The Celtics have gone 6 of 8 from the free throw line tonight.
And it's been an average year, really, at the free throw line for this group, only around 75%.
And he knocks down the first one. And so he makes both from the line.
And how about the Celtics? Over the last 3 seasons, climbing up from a subpar defensive team to elite status. You look around the league, there may not be a better perimeter defensive trio than Marcus Smart, Avery Bradley, and Jay Crowder.
Boston's gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. Pass to Green. Dishes it to Zeller. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A 3-point play chance here.
3-1.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight. And that one falls for Zeller.
And just over 80% from the line right now. A big improvement over what they shot in that first quarter.
2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Here's Benajay, defended by Young. 6 on the shot clock. Passes to Lewis. Here's Benajay, guarded by Green. Detroit, no good that time either. And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. Celtics lead by 5. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks, Kevin. Here with head coach Brad Stevens. Coach, what did you think was the main edge you had?
Well, I thought defensively we were a lot better, and then that led to some offense. But obviously, we're playing a bunch of skilled guys, and we're able to spread the floor, and that's helpful.
You have to make them work at both ends. Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David, and we'll be right back after halftime to start the third quarter. See you in just a bit.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
I would call that a competitive, First half of action. Ernie Johnson here welcoming you back to the 2K Sports Halftime Show with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Boston found themselves in a close game in the first. They saw their lead grow to a high water mark of 5 in the period. They asserted themselves nicely in the second quarter and now have a fairly comfortable 5-point lead here at halftime. Kenny, what's your take on Boston so far?
Well, there was one pleasant surprise, and that was the bench. They gave them a big lift. Those guys came into the game, they did all the dirty work, and they scored baskets.
Shaq, what'd you think about the Pistons?
Ernie, they're taking way too many threes. The offense has no rhythm. They need to go back to the drawing board. Maybe try to get a little bit more transition, more off the pick and roll. Anything other than shooting that three. It's not going.
And that wraps up halftime as the game is set to get back underway. Let's send it back to Kevin Harlan and crew. They are standing by courtside.
Never a shortage of motion on Soldiers Field Road as we welcome you back to historic Boston. Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. Andre Drummond has been sensational.
He's just been terrific. This is what they needed from him.
Earning a double-double for the night is awesome, but doing it in one half, he is out hustling everybody.
Boston leading by 5. Our second half of basketball and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. On the court right now for the Celtics, the big men Jerebko and Johnson. Smart is out there with Brown, and it's Green in at the small forward.
And Harris just using that long reach of his so well on defense. Shooters have to be more careful or he'll rise up and swat your shot away.
And that's a terrific sequence at both ends there. There was the block shot, then the run out, and nice finish on the break.
Brown with it, now guarded by Caldwell Pope. Green kicks to Smart. That's short off the rim.
Now, these are just terrible shots he's attempted right now. No reason whatsoever for this kind of horseplay.
And the foul on Marcus Smart. That's his third foul of the game. Here's Caldwell Pope. Out to the wing. Takes the 13-footer. It's hauled in by Brown. One-on-one here. And Brown throws it down.
And just awesome speed from Brown. Blasting off towards the bucket and slamming it down.
Come to me.
Outside Jackson. Drummond a screen. Caldwell Pope outside. Just 5 to shoot. Detroit needs to get off a shot. And Harris wide open. He shoots. And a miss there on the triple. Boston leading by 5. Now here's Smart. He's got 6. There's a screen. And he lobs it up toward the rim. Johnson can't get it to go.
Nice effort on the alley-oop, but probably not a good choice.
Well, a good attempt to try to finish that alley-oop. Still, though, still should have went for something better than that.
That's the kind of aggressive and assertive play they need as we get closer and closer to crunch time.
Johnson the screen. Right side Green. Good, and Smart gets the assist. Green's got the lead up to 5 now for the Celtics.
Solid timing, better execution, going strong to the rack. Now, when you think about Marcus Smart, the 6th overall pick by the Celtics in 2014 after 2 seasons in Oklahoma State. Shooting has been the question mark. Those percentages are definitely not pretty, and it's about shot selection as well as his ability to knock them down.
They set the screen, and the wide open shot from Green. No good from outside. Pistons trail by 5. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
And for Marcus Smart's improvement as a player, Chris, what do you think is the first order of business?
I think it's a shooting. This team has other players who can distribute the ball. Whether he ends up playing point or off the ball, his ability to score efficiently will be critical.
And last year, Tobias Harris was one of the big names moved near the NBA trade deadline.
And he immediately stepped in and was a big part of the Pistons' postseason push. You can see why they like him on this team. They gave up a lot to get him, but they plan on keeping him around for the remainder of his contract. Also, Harris has a descending contract, so the cap hits get easier the longer he stays.
And so he hits both.
Not your run-of-the-mill big man from the line. This guy can stroke it.
Boston leading by 3. Clock keeps going. 3 minutes into the second half now. Here's Jerebko. Some solid defense from Harris.
That's what we call good defense in the paint. Worth its weight in gold.
Well, that's just a stupendous effort by him right there. He stopped him dead in his tracks.
Here's Smart. Tipped away.
If he can find himself out there, his team will be in fantastic shape to get this win.
Caldwell Pope lays it up and banks it in. Caldwell Pope's got 4 this quarter.
And the versatility of Caldwell Pope, not just the score from outside, but also a threat to shoot the ball close to the hoop as well. I have no idea why he would have even attempted that. That's a horrible turnover.
Mickey's checked in for Green. Just over 3.5 minutes through the third quarter of play now. They now take the lead. 8 points for Reggie Jackson.
Oh, the catch and shoot Jay is lethal when used correctly. Easy to see why Jackson likes it so much.
And here's Smart. 6 points for him. Johnson inside. Defended by Drummond. Boston, no good that time either.
And that's a well-contested shot.
Solid defense. They weren't going anywhere against them there.
Morris with the bucket.
And that's the kind of lead pass we've come to expect from him.
Celtics trail by 3. Now Smart. He kicks it to Jerebko. Back to Smart. The Celtics working the ball around now. And then Brown with the dunk.
What an athletic play from Brown, showing off his man hops on his jams.
For Detroit, they've gotten 5 of 8 shots to fall for them in the third quarter. A nice 62% from the field. Harris passes to Morris. Here's Caldwell Pope. His 3-pointers off the mark.
He isn't getting it to fall from outside during this half after recording a 3 during the first.
Brown, good. A great competitive game so far.
And from the look of it, this one could go right down to the wire.
Jackson kicks to Drummond. Morris outside. And Boston with the rebound. And Jerebko has it in the corner. Here's Johnson. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. Andre Drummond picks one up. And Amir Johnson, a darling of the analytics stats people. He ranked as a top 6 power forward last season in a stat called real plus-minus, Chris.
Well, I got a stat call I really don't care because I definitely don't necessarily believe in those analytics. You have to have a common denominator in each situation, and you just don't have that in analytics. But he just knows where to be, and he makes winning plays. The per-game numbers might not blow you away, but this is one of the guys that get the job done on both ends of the floor.
That one misses. Out of bounds. Pistons ball as Detroit keeps possession. Well, folks, tonight a great rebounding game we're watching in progress. And now, with that in mind, let's take a look at the all-time record for rebounds in a single game. How about Wilt Chamberlain with 55 rebounds back on November 24th, 1960.
And guys, that's one of those records that always seemed to me impossible to break. I mean, in the modern era, nobody's even sniffed that 55 rebound mark. I mean, heck, a lot of teams don't get 55 rebounds in a game, and Wilt's owned it since 1960. Not good shot selection. Long range and the defender all up in your jersey.
Well, I'm not even really sure why he even attempted that look. That's a low percentage of shots get.
Smart with the ball. Guarded now by Jackson. Smart passes to Mickey. Back to Smart. To the middle. Here's Juretko. It doesn't go for him. And the Pistons now going the other way. Here's Caldwell Pope. And it comes off the front of the rim.
That's the kind of shot you want him to take every time. He just happened to miss that time.
Here's Smart. He's got 6. Kicks it out to Johnson. Brown outside. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. And a look here at the shot chart.
Well, you have to think that he is going to look to go to the rim a little more often going forward because the 3-ball just hasn't been there. Sometimes it seems he's not getting his feet set or rushing his shooting motion, but either way, it just ain't falling.
The Pistons trail it. Outside Jackson. Feeds to Drummond. Back to Jackson. And all around the rim that time before dropping in. Jackson's got it all tied up now for the Pistons. Now a timeout called by Boston.
And you can tell they're just a little out of sync. I think he just wants to get everybody back on the same page.
Yeah, trying to find their rhythm. It's a chess match, a constant back and forth of in-game adjustments.
And a new group in for the Celtics. Zeller is checked in for Johnson. Olynyk comes in for Jordan Mickey. Young's checked in for Brown. And Terry Rozier subbed in for Marcus Smart. Here's Rozier. He's got 7. Pass to Zeller. Young up top. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. And the Celtics lead by 2.
Great job of screening there. Nice job to take it to the rim and get the finish.
Here's Benajay. And the go-ahead bucket, no good.
Well, first let's talk about the pick. That was as lazy of a screen as I've ever seen. You have to commit on it if you want to get your teammate open.
Detroit's gotten off to a very slow start from three-point range in the second half. They're 0 for 4. Got a piece of it. Now here's Olynyk recovering. Rozier kicks to Zeller. And the dunk by Zeller.
Oh, he may not be quite the leaper his brother Cody is, but Tyler Zeller can definitely rock them.
Pistons trail by 4. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Benajay pass to Luke. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. These are the teams that have been really dominant in the paint so far this season. 5th on the list, the Pistons.
You know, it's not necessarily a glamour stat, but make no mistake, their top-notch board work has been a huge key to their success.
Shooting 2.
He misses the free throw.
Detroit has had such a rich history with the Pistons, and there have been so many great players to put on the blue and red. Just think about it. Guys from the Bad Boys era like Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars. Even further back with guys like Bob Lanier.
Good on the second free throw. And the Pistons, Chris, have always had great players, even in down years. And one name that pops into my mind was Grant Hill before he injured his ankle.
Well, yeah, and you can talk about so many other players. Let's just talk about Dave Bing, or even think about other players like Bob Lanier. But it's hard to pick one player who encapsulates the franchise for Detroit as the titles have come from a strong starting five. But I would say Isaiah Thomas is the greatest Piston ever, and it's hard to argue with that. He owns a lot of the team's records. He was the #1 pick for the Pistons. He got us 2 rings.
And this is his 4th trip to the free throw line tonight.
Numbers this year at the line below 70, so when he's getting to the line, not nearly as effective as you'd like.
And the first one at the line is good.
And one of the problems in the first half, that shoddy work at the free throw line. They needed to fix that, and they've been much improved since the break.
And Lure drops them both. Here's Rozier. He has 7. Picked by Zeller. And he's going up for the alley-oop. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. Here we are in November, and let's see how things are going out east in the early season. You take a look at the Pistons. They're still struggling, trying to string something together, getting a lot of wins. The competition, though, so tough. And, of course, there's the Celtics, sitting directly below them, just 1 spot down.
And I think for Boston, there were fears they'd be one of the NBA's doormats this season. Those fears have turned out to be well-founded.
Well, it's not really shocking, is it, considering the makeup of their roster? They need a ton of help in many areas if they want to get better.
Here's Rozier. Down low. Layup off the pick. And Zeller with the layup. Zeller's got 4 points this quarter. Here's Benajay. 6 points for him. Smith outside. He dishes it to Johnson. And Lure kicks to Baines. And stolen by Zeller. Nice ball movement by Boston. And Young, here we go. The pump fake kept the D off balance and gave him room.
And with his size and length, when Young can get it in the lane, I mean, he has the tools to finish.
Johnson dishes to Baines. Tries from 10, and it's off the back rim. No good. Celtics leading by 3. Young with the ball. There's the feed to Olynyk. The 9-foot shot. But they recover it. And Zeller kicks to Jerebko. Shot clock at 6. Now the pass to Rozier. Fades back. And it's Lure with the rebound. Lure's got his 4th rebound in this one. Here's Smith, and stolen by Zeller. Here's Rozier. He has 7. And the dunk by Zeller.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
We've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Well, guys, if you're the other team, you now have to find a way to answer back. Can't afford to give up too much momentum.
That's it, and the Celtic lead is cut down now to just 3 in the basket from Baines.
Teamwork at its finest. Love the extra pass.
Here's Rozier, covered by Smith. Olynyk, a screen on Smith. Rozier, the pass to Olynyk. And Zeller kicks to Jerebko. The kick out to Young. Tries yet again. It's tipped, and they get it back. And the jam by Tyler Zeller. Pistons trail by 5.
They have a 2-for-1 situation if they go quick.
Let's watch. Let's see what play they run here. Has to be a fast one.
There's the pick. Here's Baines, and the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a 3-point play.
Yeah, how about that one? Able to maintain control and finish the play.
And the Celtics making a change here. Green's checked in.
Yeah, and the work they've done at the line has been impressive here in the second half.
They've shared the load offensively.
And, guys, they put the defense on their heels. You can see right now they're trying to react, and that's what you want when you're in a rhythm offensively.
Screen by Olynyk. Green passes to Rozier. Off target from outside. And we just finished the third quarter, and we've got a tight ball game here. Boston on top, leading by just 2. And coming up as soon as we return from break, the fourth quarter gets underway. And now let's take a listen to Stan Van Gundy on a recent huddle.
Hey, get our defense and rebounding. Let's get the ball down the floor.
Wanted to get out and run a little bit. Stan Van Gundy telling his guys how they need to do it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you don't get stops or you don't take care of the backboard, it's almost impossible to get out in transition.
We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The fourth quarter of action getting started. On the floor for Detroit, Tobias Harris is out there with Marcus Morris. Then there's Andre Drummond. Then there's Reggie Jackson. And it's Benajay in at the 2. Here's Drummond. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Well, I'll tell you what, when Drummond burrows his huge body down low, it's big trouble for the D. All you can do is foul him.
And he can't get the first one. Marcus Smart's checked in for the Celtics. And Detroit with a change here, too. Caldwell Pope's checked in. And that trip coming up empty, missing both.
You love the heart that Drummond plays with. He's just a physical beast who's using his gigantic size incredibly well.
Here's Smart. Good, and it's Green picking up the assist. Green's got 3 assists tonight.
And those are the types of shots down the stretch that win you ball games.
Drummond the screen. Here's Caldwell Pope. Great use of the pick to create room for the jumper.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Nice off-the-ball movement and action to free him up for a shot he makes on a regular basis. Outstanding work.
Smart kicks to Zeller. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line.
Good job right there by Zeller, finishing through the contact.
Brown, he's checked in for Young. And the Celtics always looking for players with a chip on their shoulder. And I think in Marcus Smart, Chris, they've found that guy that fits that mold.
Well, let's be honest, his temper has gotten the best of him at times. But the Celtics prefer a guy that they have to rein in a little, as opposed to one that they have to try to light a fire up on.
Count it, and the Celtic lead has been cut down to just 4 points with a bucket from Jackson. Morris against Green. And there's Brown. That's good on the assist from Green. Green's got 4 assists now tonight.
Oh, you really have to enjoy Brown. Fill it up in a variety of ways. A solid shooter and an even better penetrator.
Harris outside. Back to Jackson. Caldwell Pope kicks to Drummond. And it's in there.
And you're starting to see some tired legs on those defenders as we come down the stretch here, Brian.
I mean, at some point, you got to think about subbing some of these guys out, getting them a little bit of a breather. They just can't keep up.
Olynyk sets a screen for Smart. Kicks it to Olynyk. And again, Boston with the triple.
Oh, and you don't see many 7-footers with the shooting ability that Olynyk possesses.
Jackson dishes to Caldwell Pope. Nice ball movement by Detroit. Drummond. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. And that's 18 points for Drummond. Celtics leading by 5. The screen from Brown. Zeller, a screen on Jackson. Smart kicks to Zeller. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Well, you got to credit his work ethic. Tyler Zeller has improved dramatically year after year. I mean, he's now very capable of starting center in this league.
And he makes the first. And Celtics coach Brad Stevens, a big believer, Chris, in keeping things as simple as he can for the players.
And very focused. From the first day when he took over, he showed the players the numbers of where the team had to get better. Just as important, he showed them how thin a margin separated them from being a top seed or missing the playoffs completely. That breeds confidence, but also focus. They realize how every play matters. And it's no secret that Stan Van Gundy knows how to coach defense. It's safe to call it his calling card at this point.
Jackson kicks to Drummond. And taken away by Brown. To the middle. And Green gets it to go. And with Van Gundy, it would be a disservice to say that he only knows how to coach defense.
Well, and the flexibility and knowledge that Van Gundy shows is why he's so respected as a coach. He's only had one season with a losing record. That's a rarity for a coach with his years in the league.
Boston making a switch here. Urebko's checked in. Goes up off the pick, and it's Drummond with the jam.
Well, give Drummond a lot of credit. He's just taking smart, high-quality shots out there. So smart and not letting the defense dictate what kind of shots he attempts.
Green, the pass to Brown. And we're about 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter. Clock at 4. Smart dishes to Urebko. And he says, right back at you with a big dunk of his own.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And, Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
But it's surprising, Kev, to see so little urgency on the defensive side, especially with them losing this game right now.
Celtics leading by 7. Now here's Smart. Johnson the screen. Here's Brown. Caldwell Pope with some nice D.
Oh, my goodness. That's just terrible. That's an awful shot there. He really settled for a low percentage look.
And that's 10 straight points in the paint. The defense, nowhere to be found.
The Celtics have gotten it done so far from the field here in the fourth, going 6 for 7. Smart kicks to Johnson. Smart with the ball. Jackson on him. The call will go against Urebko. That's his third foul of the game. Here's Jackson. This offense has really been clicking.
And they know it, guys. They're playing right now with the kind of energy that is hard to deal with. And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
Now here's Smart. Guarded closely. Johnson, the pass to Green. Detroit with the rebound. Morris has got his third rebound on the night. Caldwell Pope outside. And that's a foul. It's called on Reggie Jackson. That is his first foul of the game. Celtics leading by 3. And here is Brown. The dish to Urebko. 13 feet away. That one wide left. For Detroit, they've gone 8 of 11 from the field in the final period. Great shooting down the stretch. Morris kicks to Jackson. He feeds it to Drummond. The 10-footer. It's deflected, and he's able to get it back. He gets that one. Boston's gone 2 for 2 from three-point land to start the fourth quarter. That's to Urebko. Smart with the ball. Jackson on him. And then Brown with the dunk.
Oh, just solid on the one-handed slam.
And guys, when it's a tight ball game like this, he's the guy they want with the ball. Drummond a screen. Jackson dishes to Drummond. And it's Drummond with the jam.
And over the years, Jackson has mastered the pick and roll, firing the pass to the perfect spot for his teammate to catch.
Now Smart. Dishes it to Green. Green missing again.
Cold start to this game for him. A lot of his shots have been off.
That gives them the lead. And that's 15 points for Tobias Harris. Time running low, guys, and somebody has got to win this one.
Yeah, well, who knows? We might need overtime in this one. It's been that kind of a game.
Smart passes to Johnson. It's stolen by Morris. Oh, and here we go. Jackson, nobody back. Finish off the break. And now a 3-point Detroit lead.
Oh, great ball movement there.
Smart with the ball. Pass to Brown. They set the pick. But Trey. Nice shot by Smart. Smart's got the game tied up here for the Celtics.
And the skills of Brown. Not just a super athlete, but a tremendous floor general as well.
Jackson misses. Boston's gone 3 of 4 from downtown here in the fourth. Green kicks to Johnson. Rebound Andre Drummond. Drummond's got his 20th rebound here tonight. Saw that coming. And Caldwell Pope gets the basket.
Somebody's not reading the scouting report. How can you leave this guy uncovered from range? It is a mystery.
Johnson the screen. Smart dishes to Johnson. He kicks it to Green. Detroit with the rebound.
A frustrating start to this quarter for them.
Inside, here's Harris. And Boston with the rebound. Uredko's got his 8th rebound here tonight. Green passes to Smart. Back to Green. And Uredko has it in the corner. And here comes Jackson leading the fast break. A pull-up. Out of bounds. Pistons ball as Detroit keeps possession. Johnson, he's checked in for Marcus Morris. Johnson against Drummond. Harris kicks to Caldwell Pope. Outside Jackson. Feeds it to Harris. Pass to Drummond. Clock at 6. Back to Caldwell Pope. That one goes in. Caldwell Pope's got 9 points now in the quarter.
In key moments like this, you need guys like Caldwell Pope to come through with a huge bucket. Just tremendous focus.
Here's Smart. Johnson the screen. Green against Johnson. Smart kicks to Uredko. Good, and Smart gets the assist.
Nice feed and close, right to where his teammate needed it.
Detroit leading by 3. Now here's Jackson to the paint. Got a piece of it. No one near Drummond as he lets it go. And the baseline jumper, no good. Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation.
And as a coach, that's the kind of turnover that drives you nuts.
Here's Jackson. Down low. And that one's good. Drummond. Drummond's got 14 points here in the second half.
Well, when you feed Drummond the rock, you won't be disappointed. Doesn't matter what point of the game it is, he provides for his team.
There's the pick. Smart dishes to Brown. The feed now to Uredko. The rebound by Caldwell Pope.
You can bet if he's left open from there again, he's probably going to knock that one down.
Bank shot, no good. The Celtics trail by 5. Brown kicks to Uredko. Tries it from 9, and he makes that one. Uredko's got 6 here in this quarter. 1:30 left in the fourth quarter. And here's Jackson. He dishes it to Drummond. Soft touch off the glass. Drummond's got 28.
Whoa, Drummond is so dependable when the game is on the line. He demands the ball. On
the wing, Green is guarded by Johnson. Here's Smart. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. He doesn't hit the first, and that was the one they really wanted. He's got one more, though.
At 6'4", 220 pounds, Marcus Smart might be the most physically imposing point guard in the league, especially with his fiery approach to the game.
And the second of 2 is good. That shrinks the margin to just 4.
Listen, they're still right in this thing. Missing that free throw, though, keeps this a 2-possession deficit.
Here's the screen. Jackson passes to Caldwell Pope. Top of the key, Harris. The Pistons working the ball around now. Shot clock at 3. And it's Drummond missing. This is a huge possession.
And this is where all the hard work pays off. You have to be able to execute under pressure.
And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Jackson. On defense, Detroit. They lead by 4. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. That one on Johnson. So the first one drops, and that narrows the lead down to just 3. Both free throws good from Green.
And now you're in a great position thanks to those clutch free throws. 1-possession game now.
On the wing, Johnson. A 3-ball. A rebound by Johnson. The game has come down to this.
Huge possession.
Smart dishes to Green. 2-second difference between shot clock and game plan. To tie it up. Oh, missed it.
They came close there to tying it up.
Oh, you just hate to miss out on those kinds of opportunities, especially coming down the stretch.
There's 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one, and an intentional foul right there.
Yeah, you know what? Smart foul. You got to try and extend the game.
He drops the first one, and that makes it a 3-point lead.
Oh, and Jackson is not just a terrific shooter, but a fantastic defender as well, using his great speed on both ends. Confidence at the line, putting the final touch on a good win.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. They're behind by 4. 9 seconds left in the fourth. Guys, what do you think?
You know, and not only do you want to draw up a score here, but it's got to be a quick one.
That's true, but if they do score, then they have to quickly foul. A lot to talk about in that huddle.
Nine seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Brown kicks to Yarebko. From deep. Unable to get that one. And so it's the Pistons who come out on top here. A truly gutsy performance away from home.
You know, it really was. And Kevin, when this one was hanging in the balance late, they showed just what a tough-minded group they can be.
And that about wraps it up. For Chris Webber, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thank you for being with us. Now time to send you over to the award-winning Ernie Johnson for the postgame show with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Kevin, thank you. Superb. And now let's move on to the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Andre Drummond. What an irrefutable force he was in the fourth quarter. The other side did everything it could to try and slow him down, but obviously to no avail. And Shaq, I can tell you want to say something. Your comments?
It's amazing how often he was able to slash right through the defense and get to the rim for an easy deuce. Come on, man. They couldn't stop his penetration, Ernie. All those points he racked up from the paint made a big difference.
This was the Andre Drummond that was the NBA All-Star. He's always impactful in the paint, but tonight he was extra special. They turned him loose, and he did not disappoint.
That's going to do it for our broadcast tonight. We certainly hope you've enjoyed the show, don't we, guys?
It was great.
Yeah. Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, and for Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew. All 653,000 of them.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Hard-working.
A lot of people.
Yeah. It's a long line at the buffet, though.
Yeah. Shout out to the T-Pose, man.
Oh,
I don't know his name, but I know his face.
I'm Ernie Johnson. See you next time.